Hi everyone, I am going to show you how to write equations of lines that are parallel and perpendicular to a specific line. So typically these problems look something like number 1 and 2 I have here, where it will say parallel to a line and through a point, or perpendicular to a line and through a point. So there's a couple things you need to know before we start the problems. The first thing is parallel lines will always have the same slope, and perpendicular lines have the opposite reciprocal slope. You also need to know this point slope form to be able to plug everything in correctly. So let's go ahead and start with number 1. It says it's parallel to the line y equals 3x plus 2, and it goes through the point -2, 5. So the first thing you're going to do is you are going to label everything you need. So for my point slope formula here, I need a y1, an m, and an x1. Okay, so I already have my x and y. So this is my x. So I'm gonna label it x1, and this is my y1 because all our points are always x, y. And then you need your slope. So to get your slope, you're gonna look at the line it gives you, which is this y equals 3x plus 2, and you're just gonna take that slope. So the slope is always in front of the x, and it's 3. Since it's parallel, that means they have the same slope. So I'm gonna use 3 as my slope. So let's plug in all those values to this point slope formula here. You never plug anything into this y or this x. Those stay as they are, okay? So I have y minus my y1, which I labeled as 5, equals m, which is my slope, which we found to be 3, times x minus my x1 here, which is -2. I see right here that I have 2 negatives, so I'm going to make those into a positive. Y minus 5 equals 3 times x plus 2. 2 negatives make a positive. And now your teacher will probably want you to have this in slope-intercept form, which means y needs to be alone. So to get y alone in this problem, you're going to distribute the slope to each of those in the parentheses. So we have y minus 5 equals 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times +2 is +6. And then you're going to move this 5 over. Since it's being subtracted, I'm going to do the opposite of subtraction with it, which is addition. I'm going to add that to the end here because it doesn't have an x, so I can't add it to the 3x. I can only add it to the 6. So now I have y equals 3x plus 11. So that's an example of if you have parallel lines. So perpendicular is the same thing, except we have one more step here. So let's label. I have my x1, my y1, draw an arrow there, y1, and then let's find our slope. This is going to be different. So my slope is 4. Perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocals. So let's first take the opposite. The opposite of +4 is -4. So -4. That's the opposite. It's just from a plus to a minus or a minus to a plus. The reciprocal is when you flip the fraction. This is not a fraction, so let's make it into one. There's always an invisible 1 under every number. The reciprocal of -4 over 1 is -1 over 4. See, you just flip the fraction, put whatever's on bottom on top. So this is our m. So let's go ahead and plug that into our point slope form. So I have y minus my y, which is -2. Make that a better negative sign, equals my m, which is -1/4, times x minus my x1, which is 8. I see these two negatives here, so I'm going to make them into a positive. Now go ahead and distribute that fraction. So I have y plus 2 equals negative 1/4 x. Negative 1/4 times negative 8 is positive 2. And then your last step is to get that y alone, undo addition with subtraction. So y equals negative 1/4 x, and that just comes out to 0, so you can just leave that as your answer. So once again, I hope this helps. If your equation here, like these two, if these are not in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, your first step will be to get them in y equals mx plus b form. So just something to be aware about. But I hope this helps. Feel free to subscribe if you want more math videos. Thank you.